Welcome to the Naked Bite Kitchen. I'm Amory Antonelli. I have the most fun recipe to share with you today. We're making roasted wild mushrooms with sherry and fennel, or marsala, some sort of fortified wine. But we're going to wrap them in a parchment parcel. So it's classically called un papillote. That means to kind of wrap it up in a little package and steam it. And we're gonna make it into a little bundle today, tied with some butcher's twine. So I'll get to that in a minute. First, I wanna make the filling. What I have in here is 6 cups of mixed mushrooms. I have local oyster mushrooms, shiitakes, and portobellos, all destemmed and sliced. And then I want to put some fennel in. When you cut the fennel in half, it has a little teepee-shaped core that you want to take your knife and remove. Okay. And then this is a Japanese mandolin, one of the most affordable and easy to store mandolins out there. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it on its side here and cut really thinly. If you don't have a mandolin, not a big deal, you can use a knife. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. This is about, I don't know, 2 to 4 millimeters thick. Does take a little bit of practice to get a really thin knife cut like that without a mandolin, but you can just as easily do it with a knife. And these are gonna be cooked, so it's not that imperative that they be sliced as thinly as I would like them in a salad. Okay. Handy little scraper, the best couple of dollars that you can spend, saves the blade of your knife. Now I'm gonna add chopped garlic. I consider that maybe the bottom part of a teaspoon is 1 clove, 1 large clove. So I want some fresh garlic in here. Don't be shy with the garlic. Keeps the doctor away. Some marsala. You can use any kind of fortified wine, like I was saying, sherry, marsala, Madeira, as long as it has a little bit of sweetness to it. And I don't mean sweetness in like a dessert wine sense, but it has more sweetness typically than a regular wine. You could also use a red or white wine if you didn't have a fortified wine. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil. This recipe is entirely plant-based, but if you wanted, you can add a little bit of butter at the very end, and I'll talk about that when I'm rolling them up. A couple of dashes of sherry vinegar, just to give it a little bit of brightness. Red wine vinegar would work well also. And then the herbs. I usually make this with Italian parsley and tarragon, but they were out of tarragon at the store, so I'm gonna use some dill. But really any kind of herb would do. I would maybe do thyme or rosemary, sage, basil is great, oregano. But I like to use a good amount of fresh herbs. They're a really, really great way to elevate the flavor without a whole lot of effort. So I just pile them all together here. A little bit of the parsley stems are fine. Some of the smaller, more tender stems. And then salt and pepper. And then I'm gonna mix it with clean hands. Okay, so giving this a good toss. I'm gonna taste it before I use it to fill, and before I fill the parcels, because once it's in the parcel, there's not really a whole lot that you can do to adjust the flavor. So we're really just looking for the proper amount of seasoning. It's obviously not gonna taste that good with raw wine and raw mushrooms, but you just wanna make sure that you have enough salt and garlic. And we do. So this is parchment paper. Oh, and there's the string. Unbleached parchment paper is gonna not only not have bleaches in it that you don't really want touching your food, but it also is a bit thinner and easier to maneuver. So I think this is a 14-inch roll. So it's about 14 inches square. So when you lay it flat, it rolls back up again, right? Which you don't wanna be dealing with it doing that. So what you do is crunch it up a little bit, and then you get it flat. This is a great recipe to do with kids because they get to get their hands dirty. And so what you'll do is you'll take a little pile of this and set it in the center. If you want to use butter, then you can add a little pat of butter to the center, or you can also put a nice piece of fish inside or some really large prawns, and then you basically have a whole meal in a little package. So I'm going to take the sides, or all the corners rather, and gather them up. make a little parcel. But I want to make sure that there's no edges that are coming loose, because then the steam that is supposed to cook everything will be escaping. So then this might take 2 people, or it takes a little bit of practice to do it all one-handed, but then you want to get the string around the neck and then just tie it like that. You can also tie it in a bow. See? So this will go onto a baking sheet. This recipe makes about 6. You can also do just about any kind of vegetable if you wanted to add some cherry tomatoes, some zucchini. What else would be good? Cauliflower would be nice, some broccoli, Brussels sprouts. You can really do a nice mixture, and tons of different spices would be good. Curry powder, cumin, za'atar would be really nice. What else do I do? Chili powder to make it more of like a Mexican style or Latin style. And so this is going to go in a 375-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. It's going in now. About 17 minutes later, we are ready with the little parcel. And one thing that I wanted to show you was that if you just don't have the energy to deal with the parcel, or you don't have the parchment, you can take everything we did and either put it in a pan and roast it in the oven, or on a baking sheet. This pan is oven safe, so I just put all of the mushroom fennel mixture in here and put it in the oven along with the little wrapped one. And then this guy, so this is how I would serve it. Either, you know, if you were doing family style, for example, you would put all of them on one platter and then pass them around, or you can put this just as is on the plate, and you untie the little bow, and you open it up, and it's a steaming little parcel. I personally like to just flatten out the paper, and then what I will do at a dinner party sometimes, if I'm serving it with like a whipped cauliflower or mashed potato or like a root vegetable puree, or even whatever else it would be, I would just have people serve themselves on here, so you can kind of eat out of the parchment. Or if you want, you can dump it out. Either way, I think this is more fun. So let's go ahead and taste it. It's hot. It's so good. Shiitake mushrooms are definitely a must. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but I think adding some shiitakes is a really nice addition. So, that's it. Super simple and fun. I love this dish. Thanks for watching. For this recipe and more, you can click the link below to go to thenakedbite.com. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for learning to make healthier choices one naked bite at a time. Ciao.